When we're accessing web services for our remote data, often the protocol used for the return data is Json. The other common choice is XML. That's not a great choice for mobile applications because of the extra weight of XML. So we're going to show you how to work with Json. And we're going to start by taking some Json and just parsing it. In the next lesson, we'll take a look at actually retrieving the data from a remote service. So we're going to work with a JSON file called places. It's very simple. It's just an array of places. And each place has a title, a city, a latitude, and a longitude. We might want the latitude and longitude to map it in a future time. We have a corresponding Swift class that basically echoes the structure of that JSON in that we have a title, city, latitude, and longitude. We also have a method called a knitwithJSON dictionary in which we're going to be passing in an NS dictionary object and assigning the properties using the dictionary. So when we go into our dictionary, we'll look for a title key, and that will be our title property. Likewise, a city key, a latitude key, and a longitude key. Let's take a look at our storyboard. It's going to be really simple. We're just going to have a button to read the JSON and a table view. And finally, we can take a look at our view controller. So we're going to start off by having an S mutable array called places. We're just going to initialize that array in view.did_load. And we're going to set up our table view data source. When we touch the button to read the JSON, we're going to go into our bundle and look for our places.json file. Then we're going to read that file. So we're going to get some NS data using the contents of the file, and data reading mapped as safe as an option. So now we've got some JSON data. Now we want to do some serialization. So we're going to declare JSON result as an NS dictionary, and we're going to get that dictionary by calling NSJSON serialization and the JSON object with data method on that object. We'll pass in our JSON data, and for our options, we're going to be looking for mutable containers as dictionaries. So now our JSON result hopefully will have some dictionaries for us. So we're going to be looking into that result array and looking for the JSON result of places as an array. Then we'll go into that array, and for each item in the array, we'll have a place. Going back to the JSON to remind you. So this is what we're looking at. We have an array of places, and then each one of these is going to be a place object. So now I'm taking a look at those dictionaries that are in that array. And for each one of those dictionaries, I'm going to create a place object. And I'm going to call that a knitwithJSON dictionary method and pass in the dictionary that I got from the array. And then for my mutable array for the class, I'm going to add the object called place. And then when I'm done with all the dictionaries, I'll call my table view and reload data. The table view, just as a reminder, has some functions. We're going to have a number of sections in the table view, and we'll only have one section, and the number of rows in a section, and that's going to be the count of our places array. And then when we look for the cell for row at index path, we're going to index into our places array, passing in the row, and then filling out our cell. So we'll get our cell using DQ reusable cell with identifier, and then we'll set our cell's text label and a detail text label. So we'll set the text label with the place title, and then the detail text label, we're going to pass in the city, latitude, and longitude. And we return that cell. So really the key is looking at the JSON data. So in this case, we're going to get an array, and it's going to be an array of dictionaries, and then we'll break down those dictionaries into objects. And then we'll load up our table with those objects. So let's give this a run on our simulator. And I'll tap on the Read JSON button. And here's our JSON with the place title and then the details. Of course, this is not well laid out, but the whole point of it is to read the JSON. So now we can read our JSON file locally. And in the next lesson, we're going to take a look at how to get the data from a remote service.